So I'm getting the super admin information from my environment file. So when I come to the .env, this is my environment file. This is the super admin information that I want to store in the database. So I put them here. And then in my config file, I use the setting class to get them. So this is my setting class. So the username, the first super admin email, first super admin password, um, his or her location, his or her address. So I got them in my settings. And then in my initial user class, I pass them here, or I make use of them here so that I can create a super admin object. All right. From there, I define another function called db init. So this function, all it takes is the db connection. I put some logs to know whether it is working. So first, I need to create a row. So I created a user row in the table, the user rows in the table, like inserting the rows in the table. So I insert the user row details in the table. I insert the super admin row details in the table as well. On line 16. Then on line 21, I created and then inserted the first admin info in the table. Then over here, I assign the super admin row to the user, to the initial super admin that I created. So I assign super admin row to the first user that I inserted in the database here. I think, yes. Yes, so first I grab the user by the name, by the name of the user, and then I grab the row by the row name of the by the row name. Then over here, I created the row base objects, and then I inserted it into the database, and I give some logs whether this is completed or not. So this is a function that I need to call after I start running my application. So in order to call this function, I came to my main. I wrote a get setup URL, request URL, and all that this get setup request URL does is that it takes the DB connection and then pass it into the DB init function just to run that function to insert the initial data into the database for us to use. So this will actually insert the rows. It will insert the user and then assign the row to the user that we inserted. But this code needs to be commented off right after you finish using it or make use of it. Normally in better application, we used to do this with job. So what happens is that after your application is set up, you automatically run a job to do this for you. So that's what most applications, that's what we do in real-time application, like in a enterprise application. But since this is just to explain stuff, I use the get URL to do this for us. Alternative way is to put this in a database yourself. So the DB guys can also take this information, put it in a database, and then assign the row without using the code to do it. But in the case when you don't have access to the DB, you can also write code to do this. All right, so now that we are done that, we'll now move straight to our logic to login.